How do we train and educate the industry in the dangers of this type of exposure and these types of hazards? I mean, are there regulations that require annual training or some sort of education to prevent these things from happening, or at least make people aware of it? I mean, I'm curious. So is there OSHA? Is that involved, or I mean, we talked about NFPA. But are there any hooks out there that require this educational aspect of training at the?
Let me take that real quick, and I'll segue to you, Ashok, because there is no OSHA standard, and people don't realize. They think we have a standard for everything. No, there is no OSHA standard. But what OSHA has is they have a national emphasis program that's been going since, I think, 2007. They did try to pass a combustible dust standard. I believe it's 2009 that they rescinded. But within the OSHA national emphasis program, they actually list the NFPA standards, and OSHA, even though they don't have a standard they can cite, they can always cite the general duty clause. They can cite the electrical standard. They can cite housekeeping. There's many different avenues that they use for that citation, but keep in mind when OSHA comes in, usually it's after the fact, because there's not enough OSHA inspectors out there to go out, and there's probably not enough outreach that they do about combustible dust. But it's things like this that hopefully gets the word out, that people, they put that in the back of their mind and say, oh, I didn't think about that as a potential issue. But if you want to talk about some of the NFPA standards, they're state of the art, and they're updated.
Sure, Kevin, and I'm just to build on what Kevin already said, is that OSHA also has a HAZCOM standard. So if you are dealing with hazardous materials, which combustible dusts are, you have a responsibility as an owner operator to inform your employees, whether they're contractual employees or actual exempt or non-exempt employees. You have to let them know that they're dealing with hazardous material. So the other thing, as Kevin alluded to, is that the national NFPA, National Fire Protection Association standards that are out there are all covered under either the NFPA fire code or the International Fire Code, which a lot of municipalities have adopted as their county state fire code. Those documents also talk about training of employees in terms of hazard awareness. So there's either the OSHA guidelines for HAZCOM, housekeeping, electrical area classification, nothing specifically about dust, but you have to warn people about the hazards of dust. And dual, on the other side of it, is your fire marshal will make sure that the fire code is followed, and that fire code refers to the fact that you need to follow the NFPA dust codes, 652, 654, 61, 664, 44, 655.